You can start now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Architecture Education Online Lecture Series, proudly presented by MASA. This is our 10th lecture entitled Appreciate What You Have, Enjoy While You Can by Ms. 𝐂𝐡𝐨𝐧𝐠. Thank you for joining us tonight. For those who are new, MASA stands for Malaysia Architecture Students Alliance. It is a non-profit student committee acting directly under PAM, also known as Pertubuhan Arsitek Malaysia, and it consists of student representatives from all architecture institutions in Malaysia. During this time of MCO, MASA and PAM have decided to launch this online lecture series for students to be more productive and gain more insights. Architect Adrianta is the head of PAM Education, and Dr. 𝐂𝐡𝐧𝐠 is the convener. There will be more series coming up after this one, so do keep in touch with MASA's Instagram and Facebook page. My name is Janelle Lansing, a MASA representative from UPM, and I will be your MC for tonight. First, I would like to welcome our guest speaker for today, Ms. 𝐂𝐡𝐨𝐧𝐠. For your information, Ms. 𝐂𝐡𝐨𝐧𝐠 is an architecture student. She was born in Negeri Sembilan, where she spent her childhood in a small town surrounded with greenery and nature. The beauty of art and Minangkabau influenced her to have a clear direction to pursue architecture after SPM. As an architecture student, she loves heritage and conservation, which led her to be a part-time architectural tour guide. And in 2019, she even received a PAM travel scholarship. She is currently in her first year pursuing Master of Architecture in University Malaya. Now, I'm sure everybody is looking forward to the lecture. And remember, we will have a Q&A session at the end of the talk. If you have any questions, feel free to type down in the chat box so we can attend to them at the end of the sharing. Also, this Zoom meeting have a time limit of 45 minutes. In the case that this Zoom meeting abruptly ends, please relog using the same code. And with that, I will pass the floor to Ms. 𝐂𝐡𝐨𝐧𝐠.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining this online series, and also a great thanks to MASA for giving me this opportunity to deliver some thoughts about how to enjoy student architecture life. Come to this series of Appreciate What You Have and Enjoy While You Can. It is actually to encourage and remind us as an architecture student, maybe some of you are in the first year studying architecture, which you just found that architecture life is actually different with what you are expected. Whereas some of you are in the final year, struggle in project submission, and you ask yourself, do I really want to continue architecture after I'm graduated? There's a lot of up and down, but what we can do is always understand ourselves. There's no right and wrong on what we choose. See the beautiful part of every problems that we face and grow up to be the better us. First, I would like to say about my architecture journey. I think in 2012, after I finished my XPM, this is maybe the first time in our life we need to decide on an important decision to what career we need to choose. Maybe some students will say they choose architecture because of their parents. I was glad that I can have my own decision to choose architecture. But very unfortunately, I applied UPU. I think there are 8 choices if I'm not mistaken. Or I chose architecture and then I got the offer to studying in land surveying. But you know, older generation will always say that when you get what you get, you just accept it. Later, you might be okay with it. But I'm kind of person, if I'm not interested with something, after 3 years of study, I also won't be interested because I understand myself so much. So I say, why not I just try to prepare a letter properly to request changing course where people told me it's hard to be approved. But at last, I got reply that my course offered had been successfully changed to architecture. You see, if you didn't try, you will never know you will get it right. So I have my diploma of architecture in Polytechnic Ongko Ipoh. The first we study architecture is actually doesn't seem like what we expect before. Just to draw, plan, drafting, but somehow we learn so much about skills and technical drawings. And also that is a quite enjoyable time for us because all of my classmates are very energetic and fun. And then after that, I further my degree at USM Penang, where I love Penang and Ipoh so much because this place has so much delicious food and place for me to explore. And this is our class in University Science Malaysia. And then after that, I have further my Master of Architecture in Kuala Lumpur, University, Malaysia. And the reason why I continue my Master in UM is I always like to explore new environment, wish to see architecture differently, and also to understand myself what I want to achieve in my future. And so here comes the question. I studied architecture for almost 8 years, if including Master of Architecture, where actually I used to work as a kindergarten teacher after SPM. My student also already Form 1 or Form 2 this year. You imagine they already changed to a stage from kindergarten, primary school, and now secondary school. I'm still studying architecture. The journey is so long. But not saying about working for architecture field in the future, how I want to enjoy myself during these few years. There's a lot of problems we face, even from starting of the architecture life. We might cannot draw well, or we always thought that we can draw very well, but not in a very architecture way. We always don't know what is concept, what is the construction method, and how to draw it. We really can't imagine it. And the submission always is like very near, and every end of the semester, we always remind ourselves like, never mind lah, we will improve ourselves in next semester. We need to be like this and improve like that. But always we will not manage to do it in the next semester because for us, the time is very limited. So problem and issue keep on rolling and become larger and larger. The problem today is a reward for a better tomorrow. Why I say about this is that the grade in architecture is all about grade because the studio credit hour is the highest. So it will actually affect our GPA. So at the end of the day, we will always feel bad or down if we can't achieve better grade. I used to be down that I can't score better grade, especially for studio. I think in my architecture studies from diploma until now, I seldom score A in design actually. Although I used to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning to do design, and actually I can finish my design really fast. In my early architecture study, I used to bought a lot of architecture books, and I always schedule my time to read the books. I always think like, I'm so disciplined, but why I still cannot score a better grade? This is what I always ask myself. And do I suitable to study in architecture or this field? I cannot score a good grade even I already try so hard. So in my degree life, most of my time I was down because my ego always make me feel like if I have study architecture for 3 years in diploma. I supposed to score maybe A in my degree. And also in my degree time, I joined a lot of competition, but in between so much competition I joined, I didn't manage to get in for finalists actually. So end up my down spirits makes me started to become lazy. When I do design for learning something, my heart always tell me like, how good you did, but you still can't get a good grades. Why you need to try so hard? Actually, when now I think, do I really try hard? Do you think you really give a lot of effort in something that you like? When you thought you're already hardworking enough, there are a lot of people who work harder than you. And the next thing is they work smart too. Seeing the immature self during my study, I woke up 5 p.m. to do my work. It is a reason to persuade myself I'm hardworking. There's something like I just tell myself, oh, I wake up 5 o'clock, I'm hardworking. I read more, I'm very hardworking. But that is not how you define hardworking in architecture. Design is not like you sketch for 10 sketches per day. You will become the best and score the good grades because you are hardworking. The time you sketch, how can you see yourself that you can improve? Maybe sometimes like even we really read or research Pinterest, we didn't really understand why there's the reason that building is a good design. And then maybe most of the time we just take the good examples and then we put in our design. That is not a right way. And then just like I say, I read a lot of books just to easy for me to take reference in projects so I can apply in my next submission and so on. In this learning manners, you won't learn anything. You will see the beauty of every project and the render, but you didn't know the story behind. And what do they struggle? Why they come with this concept and it becomes a success, although some building form might look simple and straightforward. And then when I say I already hardworking enough, but I still can't score a good grades. So this is another question I ask myself again. Why do you want people to see that you are very hardworking? You become hardworking just because you care on how people are looking at you, or you want them to like clap hand and praise on you that yes, you are very hardworking, you deserve a better grade. Is that just to make yourself feel better and keep on staying in the same level and do not improve yourself? So I look at my learning attitude, my previous learning attitude, and understand my problem. But how can I improve myself? If I want to keep my passion in architecture, well, to say that I'm not very confident, and I think most of us are not confident, or we used to be not confident before. Just like an example, we have a project brief, and then we have to design on, we need to think on how to design it. But at the end, we will feel like this concept maybe will not be good enough. And then do the lecturer like it or not? End up, most of us design a concept just to amaze our lecturer. And then if we spend so much time to understand what a lecturer like or dislike, why not we spend more time to understand ourselves and then our thinking or idea that we want to improve the current situation or site to make it a better design, and then be confident that what you want to do is good. I need to say that lecturer comments are right, but also in the same time, you need to explain why you feel this idea can improve the current issues or situation. And then the key is be confident with yourself. You can do it in every semester, but do not be too confident until you feel that what you do are all correct. We are student, right? Because we going to university is to learn something new. So the second thing is the mistake you make and the comments you get. The time when I was really down during my degree time, I see mistakes and comments as a failure. I can't receive any comments from other people who actually see my problems clearer than our own self. And then when our lecturer comment on me, I feel down and sad. So end up the works are not moving. But if you see in different perspective, you need to be grateful that you see problems during your study. And there is a little story I want to share about. In my diploma studies, I remember we have a quiz section and one of our lecturer was really strict. We were so scared of him, so we decided not to design anything, and so that we no need to create in the class. And then, but you see, when we are like, the whole class is too united. And then when the lecturer asks about like who has done the design progress, actually none of us raised out our hand that we had already done our design. So my lecturer asked us, why you didn't do your design? And then we answer is like, design is too difficult. And then actually the lecturer was very strict, but it's very surprising that he didn't feel angry. And then he smiled and then he said, come guys, let's go out and we can have some campus tour. During the time, we actually is already semester 5, but still, yeah lah, you no need to create your design and then you have a campus tour. It's still like very happy, you know. And then I remember like the tour is that the lecturer point out like different plants around the campus to tell us what is the name of the plants. And then at the end, we come to a place. And then the lecturer asks us like, ini pokok apa? And then we know lah, that one is like chili, you know. Chili is like very easy to know. Yeah, that is chili. And then he said, pandai, korang setiap orang petik satu chili lah. So most of us want to pick the largest chili, and then everyone is like pick a lot, and then they say lah, wah ini best kalau boleh buat sambal. And then after we pluck the chili, our lecturer actually looked at us and then he asked us, what is the taste of chili? And then we all is like answer him, pedas. And then the lecturer said, if you didn't try to eat a chili before, how you know the chili is actually very spicy? So now I expect that all of you didn't eat chili before, and then you don't know the taste of chili. Now you take the chili in your hand, and then you eat the chili. Actually, during that time, our face is like totally green because we know the chili is very hot and very spicy. But his eyes is looking at us, like waiting for us to eat the chili until we really bite the chili. And then like after that, our eyes is all full of tears. And then our lecturer says, the lesson for giving you guys to eat chili is when you didn't try to eat it before, don't expect or make decision that the chili is very spicy. Same as design. You cannot say it's very difficult even you didn't try to do it yet. So when you do design, is didn't as difficult as you thought. Because of this lesson of chili, I always remember and then I tell myself, don't feel hard or you can't do it when you not yet do it. And then second, even you got comments from lecturer, it doesn't mean that you are not good enough. You learn something new, right? And then you will remind yourself like, after doing this mistake, you are telling yourself like, I'm not going to repeat it again. So remember, the problem today is a reward for a better tomorrow. And how to improve myself is actually, I want to like to advise is do not be afraid to try something new. After like being down for some time, I decided that I maybe need to try something new. And then some sort like having a new year, new environment, and new life. I do not quit architecture because that is something I chose a few years ago. I think it's like the responsibility to do good in what you choose is very important. So I tell myself, maybe I can try something new. I see myself like 24 hours a day, beside from sleeping and eating, I repeat my routine in architecture for only architecture every day. Maybe I need to have other interests to support myself. The first thing I decide to do is to take intern as an opportunity to try something new. In 2017, I tried to apply for overseas internship at Taiwan. And then I think people tell me like, it's hard to get overseas internship. But I would like to tell you all is that when you try to apply, the percentage you can get, of course, will be better than you didn't try it. When you didn't try it, the percentage is always 0. After 1 month, I think after 1 month, I just got the reply from video design studio that I was selected. And also, this is the first time I travel to a new place alone. And during the weekend, I travel and walk in a very slow speed, which I see myself really comfortable with. And then I understand myself better, spending more time to see around beautiful things and speak with people, because I'm not confident, right? And then I will not start to talk with people in the first. I will usually wait people to talk with me. So I can say this is the best experience that I never had. Is that still, or we need to prepare for the next section to come in again, Janelle?
Sorry, again?
Is how
Oh,
many
no.
minutes left?
Oh,
Okay.
no, there's no time limit now. It has been extended. So
Okay.
everyone rest assured. Yeah, you may
Okay,
continue.
thank you. And then the second is sharing is caring. Many of us always thought that design is something that if I know something, I need to keep for myself. In reality, architecture does not work in this way. Beside from discussing design with your friends, you also need to give ideas or opinions to your friend on how you feel the design can work better. Comment to your friends doesn't mean that you need to be the top student, or accept comments from your friends doesn't mean that you are not good enough. It is actually just a progress for us to improve ourselves. And then this is how, like, during our internship or what, every of us will design something, and then we will share out our design. And then because we are from different country, so we have different opinion in the same site on how to design it better. And then usually our boss is he will give us also comment on how he thinks that in Taiwan, which situation or which design will be better. And then after that is to see things in different perspective. When you see in this photo, there is like lines, pattern, but these are different perspective. Things do not work in only one way. So when you try the first option, it cannot be done. Try another option. Always think in different perspective. So when you see things wider, every problems can be solved. I remember, like, during my diploma studies, I designed a building, and then my lecturer comment, "Jianxin, your building is not enough green. As a future architect, you need to consider about green building." And then the time I think about green building is like, green building. And then how I want to think about green. And then you know what I do? I just color all my building into green color. And then the next week, the lecturer looked at my design and he said, "Oh my God, 𝐿𝐴𝐧, this does not mean green building." And then because like, you know, when we are too, our thinking is too narrow, and then like during the time we does not have such good internet like now. The reason I color it green is just that I thought green is just a color. But in architecture, green building does not mean that the building is green. And then don't miss a chance to be lucky. Lucky needs hard work too. Some people say that like some people are really lucky. He or she doesn't look that talented, but they always achieve what they want. The only reason is that I want to tell you that why they can get something they want is because they try it. While the time you are curious like why they are so lucky and why they can do this, you actually didn't spend time to try it. After in thinking in different perspective, I try to participate some competition. I like previously I joined competition is just that I want to win the competition. But after that, I try to think in different perspective. Competition is not that just I want to win. It's actually I participate is that usually competition brief will be very interesting, and then it won't be same like what we have in our studio. And after that, I found that actually I achieved more than I just think I want to win a competition. And this is like the achievement people see and the hard work that people can see. Usually you need to know that the achievement of other people get, they really spend a lot of hard work that you can see. And then for this one is like a competition in Kuching, Sarawak. It's actually movable street library which made with pine wood. The issue we face for this is that because we are from Penang during that time, we need to dismantle this structure so that we can easily take the structure from Penang to Kuching. But somehow is that this structure doesn't look like so solid, and it looks like always need to be always want to like robot like this now. So and then we actually didn't manage to take much photo because the structure not stable. And then the second day we actually go visit this place and want to take photo again. The structure actually already not there. And then we actually receive the reason from organizer that they was worried that the structure will be collapsed and hurt the visitors. Actually, when I think back about this, it's something like I'm quite happy because there's something I want to do it, a floating bookshelf. So when I think about this and then the hard work that we do, and then actually we spend like 3 or 4 days to do it. But the things I learned is that we know how to construct it better. And then because I like the woodcraft kind of things, and then we learn about like the connection. So I think that's still not that bad for me. If you see that you can learn something new, right? So and then second, I have another opportunity to mix model making again. This is actually my second time to do balsa wood model, and then this is fully handmade by ourselves. And then you see the curve. It's not easy because we spend like day and night to do this. And I would like to thank, actually my teammate helped me a lot to make this success. Like they tell me how to make it better. And then sometimes the balsa wood will not be so good. And then we try another option. So then this is what and how it looks like now. There's not about win or lose. It's like the journey and then what you learn in it. So the next is about the hobby. Hobby is actually important in architecture life. I can say that. And then ask yourself that what is your hobby? And do you know what is your hobby? After studying architecture for a few years, I think I have slowly forget that I like to sketch during my primary and secondary school because we sketch too much in our class and studio. And I think there's other option I need to make myself to enjoy architecture life. So then the first one is photograph and videograph. I got the opportunity to become one of the multimedia team for an architecture workshop, Matra USM in 2015. Actually, before this, I take photos, but not video. And then I think during that time, because we are very rushing and it's an event, basically, and then also because of performance, usually the stage will be dark or what. So I learned a lot from my friends how to take nice photo, and then I managed to get myself a DSLR and slowly develop myself. Like after the event, I slowly developed myself by taking photo in daily life. And then also like I use some film, like I like to try something new. So when I try something new, I feel it gives something new for me in my architecture life. And then some of my friends' photo and travel. And then somehow like after I taking photos, I feel that I actually prefer the editing process after an event or journey. So then editing photo is like I found it I actually does not like to edit photo, by the way. So I try to like learn about video editing, and then I start to take video. And then nowadays YouTube, Facebook or Instagram are really platform to ease in showcasing our works. As an architecture student, I need to say that you need to show your work, but not that showing about architecture works. You can show something that you like. It does not be supposedly need to be architecture, photography or video. I think they're still okay when you found that you are more interested with it. And then even I can say like sometimes when our submission is near, we really become very stressed and forgot some positive things to move further. This kind of hobby will be always related in architecture life, because for me architecture life is architecture can be very wide. And even you say that your hobby is like playing online games, maybe for me it's still quite okay, because there's way something you learn to have a better strategy and also apply in architecture life. So who knows, right? And then like when I take for video, when I edit a video, I always learn that even a video also need to have a storyline. When it relates back to architecture, you have a concept or idea. You also need to have a narrative to explain the whole design. And then as a student, we always thought that we can have a chance to travel if we got money from our parents or during studio trip. I will want to say that actually in architecture, we got a lot of travel scholarship provided for architecture students. throughout the year. And then so some of my friends asked me that, besides from like photography and videography during travel, what do you like to do? And then I think the way is sketching. It doesn't mean that you need to travel overseas or other place to see something new. This is the one of the event in Penang urban sketch. Every Sunday they will decide a place like where to sketch, and then because I found it interesting is like after my degree, I actually work as a assistant architect in Penang, and like we really want to spend our weekend very well beside from working. So I start to join my friend to sketch, and then the place they decide is usually heritage building. Heritage building got a lot of line. There's different with like we taking photos, we keep the photo, and then we might forget it. But when you sketch of a building, you will see the details, the story of every buildings, and then in the same time, it's actually will be improved the way of your thinking in design a better building. And then cooking. Actually, I like cooking, but I can say because thanks of MCO, I can know a lot of like recipe and then really enjoy myself. Because that actually I prepare my own lunchbox to work and study, but I need to admit that I actually prepare my lunch is like as long as I'm full enough. So during this MCO, I start to develop something new. I start to cook and apply architecture principles and the interest of photography in it. There's a lot of things that I find it interesting actually. Especially the first week I try to cook, I refer on some YouTube video and then I take some photos. But because I plan to do it like an MCO food diary, I can't just take an idea from internet and just paste it in my own life. It's same like architecture. We can't just take a photo or building in Pinterest and then we say, hey, maybe this one will be nice in our site. It doesn't work this way. So then after that, like during the week of MCO, I actually think about a concept of food and travel. And I think about the key element of the country. It's not that I use T-square and steel ruler to cook a meal so it looks like architecture. But it's about like the decoration and then the color and also the angle and perspective. So as you can see, like you can see the light, the angle, and the food is same. It's almost the same lah. And then like because I like to travel, and then I will usually plan my cooking in country. So usually we travel in other country, we just see something and then we will forget it. Even we try a good food, after we come back from a country, we will forget it. So this is now when we have the chance to stay at home, we actually have the opportunity to try it. And then I think it's something like you can think back something about architecture and also the good memories during your travel. And this is something like I miss Taiwan because I have my internship there. So I try to cook the things that I really like it during my time I have my intern. And then something like Japan, what the food I like it. And this is only 3. There's not much. But when you come back to architecture again, actually you will be more clearer and confident on what you want to achieve. When you think in real life about thinking, concept, or perspective, there's always related. It's not about like you just read a lot of architecture books and then when you can't get something right, and then you say that I just cannot do it well. And then the last is actually we meet a lot of great person to learn and improve ourselves. I can always say that we need to be grateful that there's a lot of great person such as our lecturers, architects, and senior who give us a chance to make mistake and guide us on how to become better. I know sometimes some advice might be very harsh, and then we also found, but you need to know that beside from just remember the harsh comment from people, we also found that there's also lecturer who always encourage us to walk further. And then I really want to thanks like, because sometimes when I really down in architecture and then I think like I'm not suitable to go this way, there's always people around me to grab me and then guide me to walk in the right path. I think I worked for a year. I worked for a year before I further my master, and then actually I really meet great mentor and colleagues who give me opportunity to try something different. Like beside from working, because they know maybe they can see like I'm almost like out of architecture. I want to out from architecture already, and then they pull me back and then they give me some interesting project, and then sometimes they bring me to site visit by cycling. I think that is quite nice. And then I remember the first week I worked, I was given a task to design a riverfront. And then the thing is like when I got the project, I think like what my boss will like or what my senior will like it. So then I propose a lot of proposal and to make them like satisfied with the proposal. But then somehow like after 2 or 3 weeks, they're still not what they want. And then I remember it's like after 2 weeks, my boss called me call me to his office, and then he said this is not what he expect. And then I told him that I want to do something or style that maybe I want to do something that maybe is similar like your style or your office style. But somehow I spend a lot of time to look at website, understand it, but I still can't do it what similar like what I see. And then actually the time my boss, he laughed and then he said, no, you don't need to think so much like who will like it. You just think about what you want to improve at the site, and then you just clear all of the thinking, the things that you have done. Think back what you really like, just like architecture. Why you choose architecture, and then why you like it, and then why you design it. So, and then actually after like 1 week, a few days that I really think of what I want to improve the current site. And then like I was quite how to say it's like, he finally accept with the design that I proposed. So, and then also the second thing is like, this is actually the second time I was invited by MASA to give a talk. Before the talk, I always feel like maybe I'm not good enough to give a talk for people to encourage people, because I'm also not that confident. But what you need to know that you learn from every progress and then you slowly to improve and become a more better person. So do not say that you can't do it when you didn't try it. Appreciate every chance given and enjoy it. Architecture study can become really awesome, I can say. At last, I wish that the thought sharing today can give some confidence for my friends who are currently down or lost to think of why you choose architecture and why you cannot just give up the decision that you have made. Enjoy in different ways to find back your passion. And I would like to wish good luck to you all. Thank you so much. And then this is actually my Instagram profile. And now I would like to pass the session back to the MC today, Janelle.
Thank you so much, Chin-Sin. I hope everyone
Welcome.
I hope everyone enjoyed the talk and gained many insights. If you have any questions, you can just type it in the chat box. Okay, so right now we've got some questions from the audience. The first one is from Lok. May I ask, how is your daily routine and time management? Are you able to done all tasks in the given period? Would like to know more advice on your time management, dear. Thanks.
Saying about my daily routine, actually, every day I will just write very simple. I won't write so much on things to do. I will maybe like not more than 5, but I will make sure that the 5 of them I will finish. I will already finish, and then like last time I actually always want to finish it very fast. I can say like, you know, the feeling like when I done it very fast, I feel very happy because I have more time to rest. But somehow I think that is not correct. When even you are good in time management, you can finish it very fast. But if you finish it very fast, you still have time. You need to always like see back, is there any problem? And then always ask yourself why. When you see there is something problem, you need to like change it and then always improve it. And then it's not like sometimes like even last time I actually always want my things to do really fast. And then after that, I slowly found that you need to have quality better than quantity. So I will like every day I will write only 5 things I want to do, but not before submission. I mean every day. But if let's say in submission, I still think you need to do really fast because if not, you will not manage to finish it. And hope I answer your question.
Okay, so we have another question by Wang Yi Sam. What do you like to do when you are frustrated from the design studio, especially your due date is really near?
Oh, okay. I think everyone will feel frustrated. I also will feel frustrated. Like I got a lot of things that not yet solved, especially some things like technical or design, or maybe I imagine something is like very nice, but when I do it into SketchUp, it's not like what I think. But I just beside from doing like everyday routine, I will do about architecture stuff, but I also will spend like maybe half an hour for myself to do something that I like. So maybe like you really cannot just do design when you are frustrated. You need to like if you like to play games, maybe you just play for half an hour. Or if you like to read books, you just read it, watch some video, and then cooking. And then like don't force yourself in front of the computer too much because sometimes when you are really frustrated, you can't really think too much. So come up from that situation and then enjoy yourself. Things will become more better, and then you slowly found that you actually can do it more faster. Yeah, and yeah.
Thank you, Jinsin. Another question from Kelvin Akian. Is internship overseas better compared to local internship?
I can say there's different learning experience in overseas and also local, because I also have interned in local before during diploma. And then because during that time, I will want to learn a lot about VBBL and also technical stuff. So that's why I chose Malaysia. And then Malaysia usually will be more technical, and what you learn is about like, they will teach you about submission, and then the fire requirement, those that. And then after that, I chose internship overseas is that because I want to learn something about concept. Studying in diploma actually makes me become really technical, and then always I feel that this is maybe this one will be not workable, this one is not good. So I need to know more about concept and then about ideas. So that's why I try to intern overseas. So I think like if it is about advice and also sharing, like if you feel like you want to know more about um, ideas and design, internship overseas is quite a nice experience, because like I say, in a new environment, you can actually see yourself how you can how you want to survive. Actually, how you want to survive in a new environment. It will be different in Malaysia. Yeah, but I like both. Yeah, both is also nice based on what you want to learn. Yeah,
There's pros and cons lah.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is by Calvin Ng. May I know the challenge you faced during your part 1 study and how you overcome it?
During my part one is actually um my part one is actually that I feeling down, because I feel like I have studied diploma for 3 years, but I actually doesn't achieve, like I have target myself on this and that, but that is not what I want. And then like I expect this and then I get that. So like when you can't take the things that you want, you feel like you are uh, maybe you feel like you are such a failure, or is that architecture suitable for me? Because if I finish it degree for another 3 years, I already spent 6 years in architecture. And then there's the and then beside from getting been down in architecture, you cannot be down to I mean like quite a long time. You need to very fast to stand up and say, yeah, I cannot be down because this is architecture, and then I have a lot of submission. And then sometimes like when you maybe first you can um, talk with your friends. I'm sure that actually in architecture life we have a lot of great friends that um, they are very positive, and then they will tell you like, you're not that bad, you're actually quite good. And then what you want to do is just actually like you can do like this and then you can do like that, because our friend can see clearer than how we think of ourselves. Like when I say I'm not good enough, I feel down, but actually my friend will say, no, you are actually not that bad, just that you're thinking like you're not confident. Or maybe like they actually understand me than I do. So how I overcome it is I got my friend to tell me that I'm actually not that bad. I need to be confident, and then to like um really understand that I actually can design a good things. And then the second thing is like how I overcome it is I think back about what my hobby, because I have my own hobby, like I like to sketch, I like to take photos. So this is something like it gave me another opportunity to think why I like architecture, and then I want to continue in this field. Yeah.
Thank you. Next question is from Ong. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What is your future plan in architecture?
Actually, in 5 years, I think it's like maybe last time I think of I want to work after my master, maybe overseas to see something different. But um, I think there's not like if I want to apply it, then I can get it. But I will try it. And then another thing is like because of this COVID-19, we found that maybe our planning will be different because um, we maybe might not get a job. Who knows? So I think um, I'm actually thinking for my plan is beside from architecture, I want to do something um, related with architecture as my part-time job. I actually I'm actually thinking about like to become a part-time tour guide to bring to let tourists know about um, Malaysia architecture, and I think I will enjoy it because we speak with tourists and then we know something from them. Sometimes they can see things that Malaysia, what Malaysia can be improved. Yeah.
That sounds wonderful. It's from Aza. What do you think is the most important thing that we need to master in designing?
I think the most important things is that when you want to master in designing, you need to first you need to always ask question why you do it like this, why you design it like this. Besides from lecturer asking you, you also need to ask yourself, and then like always know the problem and issue in a site, because always when you can solve the issue, then it will be a good design. Yeah. I think that is about always asking yourself question beside from people um, asking you. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Are there any more questions before we end the talk? We have one question from Huilin. What are your advice to Part 1 graduates before entering Masters?
I think for me, um, before entering master, you need to think. Actually, you want to think is why you want to further master, because mostly I think like there's a lot of people that want to further master is that because they feel they can earn more money. I think this one is like very common because everyone will say I want to earn more money, so I need to further master. But um, asking yourself, do you really want a master? Because I also like seen before some of my friends, they actually didn't take master. And then also the second things is like um, um, how to say, is that your family afford for you to study master? This is the first thing. And then if second they can afford, then think about why you want to further architecture. No, why you want to further master in architecture. And then the advice is when you're really clear that you want to further master, you need to make sure that you have learned certain things in your firm, like how to say, I think technical and also the thinking, I mean like mature thinking of to design a good building. So then start will be different. Some they found it 1 year is very enough for them. And then some they found that actually 2 or 3 years is they have more time to really know about how the construction will be work, and then maybe they will feel satisfied when they see the project that they did already done. So I think it's like also depends on how you feel it. And if for me I choose to directly further master is that I'm quite lucky because the firm that I work, they actually give me a lot of like different kind of design um, to manage. And then I learn a lot of things like from landscape until planning. So when I feel that I already well prepared that I can continue master, so I continue master. Yeah, I hope this is like the answer that you want to know. But and good luck to you. Always ask yourself, yeah, why you want to choose master.
Thank you. That's very insightful. Actually, I have one question myself.
Yeah.
There was a picture that you showed just now. You built a model using balsa building that thing. It looks very complicated, and balsa wood is not cheap.
1,000 ringgit, I think. But I think it's still cheaper than 3D printing. And then that was like 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. So um I think it's like about 500, if not mistaken.
Not bad. Are there any more questions? If there is no more questions, then we will end. But before we end, we just have one short announcement. The upcoming online series will be held on 12th June, which falls on next Friday, featuring AR Edric, entitled Sharing Competition Design Ideas and Strategies. So stay tuned on our social media, MASA Facebook page and Instagram. Thank you once again, Miss Chin-Sin, for your wonderful talk.
Thank you, Jenna, and thank you everyone for joining tonight. Thank you so much. I hope you guys will really think why you choose architecture as a career, and good luck to you guys.
Thank you once again, everyone, for joining today's online lecture. We hope you enjoy it. Keep in touch with our MASA's Instagram and Facebook for the next one. Until then, have a nice day, and we will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.